PNM reveals bold new chapter manifesto. THTA president says Easter accommodations lower than usual. Chief Secretary calls for Tobago to be given the power and authority it deserves. And the IDA urges that 2 Tobago seats can give Tobago the autonomy it deserves. Good evening, I am Biana Brebner. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Thursday, 17th April 2025. Tonight we begin with our political coverage as the general election date draws closer. With a little less than 2 weeks to go, the People's National Movement has launched its manifesto. The launch took place on Wednesday afternoon at Balizi House. Young identified 6 priority areas which he believes will lead Trinidad and Tobago in the right direction. Reporter Josh Eldan has this story.
The PNM's manifesto for the 2025 general election is titled A Bold New Chapter, Transforming Governance for a Stronger, Safer and More Prosperous Trinidad and Tobago. It was unveiled during a press conference hosted by Prime Minister Stuart Young and PNM political leader and former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Prime Minister Young assured that his administration would implement the outlined plans once elected.
Looking forward at the future, we have decided that we're going to deliver this bold and innovative but responsible plan for Trinidad and Tobago. Because one thing we are certain of, nothing we do and no policy we formulate for implementation must disturb our economy or the structures, example, jobs of our citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Reflecting on the current state of the global environment, Young noted that his administration's plans are not built on false promises that could disrupt the economy.
That we are not in the business of making false promises or putting forward proposals that potentially could disrupt our economy and have the potential to lead us down the road of the IMF or devaluation.
Young noted that the government has faced several difficult challenges, including the Dragon gas deal. However, he argued that while many issues may be beyond the government's control, they were able to navigate these situations effectively.
So these are hurdles that come up when you're a responsible government and you're in leadership. It's either you could do the job or you can't do the job. There's much that is not in your control, but it is how you manage to navigate and deliver, which I think we've done quite successfully.
The PNM's manifesto covers 6 priority areas, which are improvements in government and public service, safer communities and a secure country, advancement in education for the modern child, emphasis on sustainability and climate change, an inclusive economy, and emphasis on wellness. Josh Eldan, Tobago Updates Television News.
Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says there are powers granted to the THA under the Constitution that are not being exercised in Tobago. Speaking at a TPP political meeting, he argued that by electing TPP MPs, the THA would finally be able to exercise its full powers while also pushing for greater autonomy. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
Chief Secretary Farley Augustine criticized the PNM-led central government for failing to allow the THA to exercise its authority over town and country operations, even though that authority is outlined in the Constitution.
We sat down with the line minister, we sat down with the PS in the Ministry of Planning, we sat down with all of the heads in town country planning, we sent our lawyers down to Trinidad, the Parliamentary Council sat down with our lawyers, we examined the THA Act, and we came to the conclusion together that it must be the THA to execute.
Augustine said the THA was told to write to the then Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for approval, but nothing ever came of it. He claimed this was one of many instances where Tobago's wishes were dismissed by the PNM, another being the way maritime disputes were handled.
You could sit down home and just hear willy-nilly. Your Prime Minister today met with the Prime Minister of Barbados and they made an agreement for use of Tobago waters. And poor you in Tobago had zero saying that. No consultation whatsoever.
The Chief Secretary said it is unfair that Tobagonians have no power over what happens in their maritime space. He added that any future changes to the legislation should take this into account.
And I'm telling you, Tobago and Tobago People's Party, we will not accept any legislation that does not give the people of Tobago authority over its full space.
He stressed that Tobago is not seeking to create conflict with international neighbors, but simply wants to manage marine activities in a way that supports the island's development without contradicting national laws. Augustine also slammed the PNM's claim that the THA, under its current constitutional framework, cannot request more financial allocations, especially based solely on its annual tax contribution of $200 million.
And every bit of resource, including hydrocarbons, that comes out of this space is part of Tobago's contribution to the national purse. So when they stand up and they tell you that they don't contribute nothing to the national purse, tell them that they lie.
The Chief Secretary said it is time the country recognizes Tobago's true worth and support its developmental goals. Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
IDA political leader Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus says 2 seats are enough to bring about greater autonomy for Tobago. She was responding to comments from PNM Tobago Council political leader Ansel Dennis, who claimed that unless Tobago East and West seats are aligned with a larger national party holding the majority in Parliament, it would be difficult to effectively advocate for autonomy.
He was correct in saying that 22 seats with the Tobago voices silenced within that cannot deliver autonomy. What he was wrong about is that 2 seats are a waste of time, because history has shown us those 2 seats have been always important.
According to Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus, it has been done before by the DAC's Arthur N.R. Robinson and Dr. Winston Murray in 1977, and it can happen again, but only if the elected MPs are truly independent and not aligned with a major political party. She argued that both Dennis and Augustine convinced voters to elect their respective parties into various forms of government on promises of greater autonomy, but ultimately failed to deliver.
Over again. You've seen Ansel Dennis and Farley Augustine on the platforms. You've heard their blame games, empty rhetoric, and recycled promises. Ask yourself, what are they really offering beyond more of the same?
Dr. Soyafat Angus believes that true autonomy depends on democracy, which is why she's urging Tobagonians to elect representatives who will advocate for the island rather than for political parties.
This is why the IDA has proposed enshrining the community rights in law, making local communities the first arm of government, building autonomy from the ground up, not through backroom deals, but with the people.
We'll take a break and come back with more. Stay tuned.
You've heard a voice on the radio, seen her in your worship, and have sung her songs during your time of praise. Sinesh.
Everybody now, let's go!
Sinesh comes to Tobago for Melodies from Heaven on April 17th. The Shore Park Complex alights with praise and worship from 6 p.m. for Melodies from Heaven featuring Sinesh.
I shall not want the Lord has
Samuel Maydess.
You'll be the only one who's excited to call your name.
Positive.
Me never could have changed my mind.
Blessed Messenger.
The blood of Jesus over your family.
Renee Fortune and many more.
from my head to my feet.
Get your physical tickets now. Tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info or call 639-4441. April 17th at Shore Park Complex. Melodies from Heaven. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Rise and shine at Lemonade, the breakfast party. Start your day with a zesty tasty twist at our lemonade breakfast party. Get ready for a morning filled with fresh flavors, great vibes, and golden sunshine on Easter Monday morning, 21st April, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Lemonade. What's in store at Lemonade? Signature lemonade, freshly squeezed and bursting with flavor. Breakfast bites, delicious treats to fuel your day. Good vibes and great music, because every morning deserves a rhythm with Nessa Preppy.
You say that thing they get the vibe.
Your Lemonade DJ, Selector 3D and Snoopy. Mixmaster, DJ Elon, aka Pappy, Akeem 5.0 and Salty. Foreign Bass, Island Soundboy, DJ Mash, Mighty Crush, and King K. And hosted by Major Penny. Sponsored by B-Mobile, Angostura, Penny Savers, AVT General Services, Comsurge Networking, Cache. Join us for the ultimate breakfast experience this Easter Monday morning from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Lemonade. Lemonade.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
To the men of Tobago West, your strength, resilience, leadership, and wisdom are the backbone of our community. I intend to remain right there with you, providing the environment and support that you need to be better fathers, better brothers, better leaders, and mentor. Whether it's through training, jobs, or education, I intend to provide the necessary support so that we can build stronger, more resilient communities together. I am Shamfa Kojo Lewis, your People's National Movement candidate for Tobago West. All in for Tobago, all in for TNT.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Thanks for staying with us. The accommodation sector is reporting lower than normal occupancy rates for the Easter weekend, blaming it directly on the hosting of the Rhythm and Soul Festival. These comments came from the newly elected president of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association, Reginald McLean, who also claimed that the politicians on the general election campaign trail are not offering resolutions to the island's tourism challenges. Reporter Candice Jackson has these details.
Easter is typically the most successful period of the year for Tobago's accommodation sector. However, that's not the case this year, especially for accommodation in Tobago East, according to THTA President and General Manager of Speyside Blue Waters Inn, Reginald McLean.
Right now, we are currently about 68%. And believe it or not, we drop off Saturday down to about 35%. Because of what's happening on the western end of the island.
Occupation rates in Tobago West are better, ranging from 80 to 90%. However, McLean believes the Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival is directly to blame for the overall dip, as seats on the inter-island ferries and air bridge were reserved by people traveling specifically for the event.
Why take Rhythm and Soul and put it into Easter? Easter is a time in Tobago where families are coming over and Tobago is full. We don't really even have to market Tobago to get Tobago full for Easter. But you've put a Rhythm and Soul festival in, which is great, but it should have been 2 weeks from now.
McLean says the below normal bookings continue a trend that began earlier this year when the industry faced high cancellations following the declaration of a nationwide state of emergency. He expressed disappointment that these and other issues are not being addressed on the election campaign trail. The THTA president criticized political parties for failing to propose real solutions, such as restructuring the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited.
Some of who are there need to sit down with us and really go through the dynamics of tourism, and we know where the markets are because we are the ones directly marketing certain countries to get those people in our beds.
McLean noted that greater allocations for marketing are needed and pointed out that the legislation already provides a mechanism for this. He is therefore calling for 1/3 of the 10% room tax to be allocated specifically to marketing efforts.
So it's something that we have to go back in the archives and really pull it out and find out what happened to it, why it died. Where does our room tax go? Our room tax goes in the consolidated fund of the country. Is that right? No.
McLean believes it is time for stakeholders to have a greater say in the decision-making process to advance the tourism industry. He plans to intensify advocacy efforts in the coming months. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
Security has been heightened at Piarco International Airport following a shooting incident earlier this morning. In a media release, the Airport Authority of Trinidad and Tobago confirmed that senior police officers met with airport officials shortly after the incident to discuss enhanced security measures. Some actions will take effect immediately, while others will roll out in the coming days. The authority also revealed that additional support has been pledged by other national security agencies to help prevent similar events. Officials says they remain committed to maintaining a safe and secure environment for all airport users and stakeholders. The political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke, continues to outline promises he believes will benefit the people of Tobago. Via a live stream on his Facebook page, Watson Duke outlined several key promises should he be elected. He stated that the minimum salary for litter eradication workers would be $5,000, disability grants would increase by 50%, and senior citizens grants would rise to $4,500. Additionally, he pledged to build 1,000 homes on the island each year and to complete all homes on the island. Duke urged Tobagonians to give both him and Curtis Douglas a chance to serve.
Curtis Douglas and myself have come to you, and we are your son here. We owe no one when you finish this campaign, but you, the people. We are here to fulfill a new mandate. Give us a chance. This time, let us make Tobago win. This time, Tobago must win.
You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
Fusion. On April 20th, 2025, the parade grounds comes alive for a blend of genres, offering something for all ages and tastes at Fusion.
Heat me up. Only you alone could put fire back in the soul.
Experience a night of great music and unforgettable vibes. Dance to the music of Kess the Band. Kess the Band. Kess the Band.
Tell me that yours, baby. Take back a yours, honey. Take back a yours, baby.
Stephen Marley, Gramps Morgan, Wayne Wonder, and many more. Get your physical tickets now. Tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info or call 639-4441. April 20th at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium. Fusion, Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
On April 28th, vote for the anchor. Vote the Tobago People's Party.
miss my heart and tell them.
This is an extra flight that we have for standby passengers. Only the flights have groups on them, as you may see, taxi pulling up.
There are some persons who want to go on the airport at any time without any serious plans and just jump on a plane and make it, and it doesn't operate like that. It doesn't operate like that. But for us, it's not a luxury.
They're walking past you in the airport and getting the flight because ministers and yes, chief secretaries too, just get priority on the plane. But all the time they're walking past you, they ain't care to lift their voice for you so that you could get more flights. Now the power is in your hands. Don't give them 5 more years to walk past you in high heels and ignore you.
On April 28th, vote for the anchor. Vote the Tobago People's Party.
That was a paid political advertisement.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Thanks for staying with us. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris has strongly criticized the Chief Secretary and the Tobago People's Party, accusing them of being dishonest and using last-minute payments to win votes in the upcoming election. Kimberly Mitchell has the details.
Speaking at a political meeting last night in Milford Court, Minority Leader Kelvon Morris questioned the integrity of TPP political leader Farley Augustine and the general elections candidates Joel Sampson and David Thomas. He warned voters that they are part of a political group that cannot be trusted.
The thing about this Chief Secretary, it seems as though he has the propensity to find people who lies just as good as him. And therefore, those two candidates who are coming before you, you have to appreciate that they are coming to you from a party that you just cannot trust.
Morris reminded Tobagonians of a broken ex gratia payment promise made to Tobagonians prior to Augustine becoming Chief Secretary.
But I want to remind you, the people of Tobago, that remember, when they promised you that ex gratia, it was a promise of $10,000, and they only paid you $1,000. So brothers and sisters, the THA is owing you $9,000.
In a surprising turn, some TRHA employees report receiving a long-awaited 1,000 ex gratia payment from the THA mere days before the general election, a move Morris claims is a last-minute bid for votes. Kimberly Mitchell, Tobago Updates Television News.
The world of fashion enables creatives to express themselves through every stitch of fabric. Under the patronage of Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, Tobago Fashion First, Opulence Enhanced was held last evening at Buku Homes. The first fashion show originated from the Tobago Day Planning Committee, which aimed to introduce a new event to Tobago's calendar. Local designers from across the island had the opportunity to showcase some of their designs. 9 designers were featured on the runway. In an interview with Akinlabi Holder, chairman of the Tobago Fashion First Subcommittee, he expressed heartfelt gratitude for the support received and commend the exceptional work of the designers. He stated, "We thank them for their immense sacrifices and praise them for the stunning works of art they presented to the public." The weather report is up next.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
I've had the pleasure and privilege of building beautiful collaborative relationships with civil society organizations and with various faith-based organizations. And I'm asking you, if you've been on this journey with me, to continue this journey. And if you weren't on this journey with me before, I'm asking you to join the movement. There's a lot of work to be done in Trinidad and Tobago. We've started the work and have been doing meaningful work with you. And I'm asking for all of civil society, all of faith-based organizations to be all in with Team PNM. We have work to do. We have the ability to get it done, but we need you to join us on this movement. On election day, place your confidence and your vote in the team that has Trinidad and Tobago at heart and the team that's willing to work with all sectors to transform our society.
That was a paid political advertisement.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Now for a look at the weather update from the TNT Met office. Tonight is expected to be mostly fair, apart from the odd brisk shower. Tomorrow mainly hot, sunny and at times breezy, despite the low chance of a few afternoon showers. A mostly fair night is anticipated. Daytime temperatures are expected to reach 31 degrees Celsius with a heat index of 34 degrees Celsius. Seas moderate with waves 1.5 meter to 2 meter in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Sunrise is at 5:49 and sunset at 6:14. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Here's a recap of the headlines. PNM reveals bold new chapter manifesto. THTA president says Easter accommodation lower than usual. Chief Secretary calls for Tobago to be given the power and authority it deserves. And IDA argues that 2 Tobago seats can give Tobago the autonomy it deserves. I am Biana Brebner. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.